Hey, g'day guys, this is AussieStig. This time we head over to Essex in the UK to check out this professional radical SR3 simulator from 21 Performance. Just walking around the simulator you can see the attention to detail is immaculate. It's just so clean and so crisp. One of the best simulators I've ever seen. It's basically a race-used tub, so straight from the track it's been refurbished and converted to simulator use by Bradley Smith. It's all decked out with top range equipment as well, so you're looking at Bodner sim steering system as well as Pro Sim hardware. The cockpit is 100% accurate. The driver is actually pointed towards the middle of the car with the steering wheel corresponding to the seat. So it does feel a little bit odd when you first get in, but after a few minutes you forget about that. You become comfortable in the car. It's set up to accommodate professional or amateur drivers that are looking to improve their technique, and this simulator is as close as possible to the real world car, so all the telemetry from the real world car is used. Braking forces, steering forces all correlate to the real deal. Now this simulator is static. It is not a motion simulator. It does have tactile feedback in the seat and on the chassis, so you do get some feedback when you hit the curb during a test session. It's set up with a 6 metre wide screen, which is double curved and has 186 degrees field of view. As professional as the simulator looks, the telemetry capture area is just as professional. Bradley Smith, the director at 21 Performance, is also a driver coach. All the peripherals are high end, so you're looking at hydraulic pedals from Pro Sim, as well as a sim steering system by Bodner. You also have, in another corner of premises, there's a complete Pro Sim simulator with triple 120Hz screens. Bradley gave us some one-on-one coaching during the session, talking me around the Monza using the radical SR3.
We've found a 10th in the first sector.
Right.
The first chicane, sorry. So that's just going to be the brake, just sort of a better bleed off, and also a bit better with releasing that steering lock, so you're getting a better exit. A little softer on the brake into the second chicane, which has meant you're not really close to locking up, so you can actually start to turn in a little bit more, and you're using a little bit more steering lock to get it in, which is then obviously higher apex speed. And then we're carrying that run out the corner, so that's gaining you 3/10 from there. And then these two Lesmos, you can see where we're training a lot more speed into the corner.
Yep.
a lot more of like a slower and a slightly softer brake, which works out better because obviously you don't want to pitch too much weight to the nose of the car.
You can feel it rotate when you do that.
Exactly. So that's obviously just getting a lot more comfortable with the steering input.
I'm getting more confident when I can feel what the car's doing. Even though it's static, I can still feel it.
You can really feel it through the steering. Yeah. Which is what we're trying to do with drivers here. Obviously, where we don't have the motion and the feeling in the seat, we're really like making the driver focus about the steering input and the pedal input, which is obviously working because we can see where you're sort of starting to make improvements and stuff. So that's really good through there.
So how much am I off now from, say, a reasonable time?
So real life is a 154. Obviously this is just a generic SR3 setup, so we could probably find some time in it on the straights. So I'd say we're probably about a second off, I'd say, which isn't too bad because you find a couple of tenths of brake zone, and in my opinion, it's the bleed off of the brakes where we need to improve. That then obviously relates to how much front grip you've got, which then relates to how much corner speed you can carry, which then relates to your corner exit.
Yeah, so you get a faster exit.
Exactly. But if you sat there and played all day, you'd be well within the pace. So yeah, you definitely get on all right.
Thanks, mate.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Good.
At the kind invitation of 21 Performance, we decided to head out to Essex and check out this fantastic simulator, the first professional simulator that I've ever driven. What did strike me a lot was jumping from the radical tub into what us sim racers would call a normal sim rig with a triple screen. The biggest difference for me was the adjustment I had to make from real-world inputs with real telemetry and using R Factor 1, and then jumping straight into the normal simulator with triple screens and the radical in iRacing. It did feel totally different, and I didn't expect that. I expected some difference in the two simulators, but the difference in actually driving the cars and what I'd just learnt in the radical tub didn't apply to the simulator decked out with the triple screens and running iRacing. It actually was more difficult to drive the iRacing simulator than it was to drive the R Factor simulator. Using the pedals, the Pro Sim pedals were fantastic. very progressive, very easy to modulate. Again, they were replicating real-world feel, so together with the sim steering system from Leo Bodnar and the original Radical steering wheel and paddle shifters, everything felt as real as it could be. In this particular comparison between the two, I did feel more comfortable in the SR3. Definitely an experience. Fantastic setup, absolutely one of the best simulators I've ever seen and ever had the pleasure of sitting in. It was an absolute privilege to be able to drive the Radical SR3 tub at 21 Performance. The professional approach that Bradley and his team use at 21 Performance is definitely worthwhile booking time in their simulator, and I would highly recommend anyone that wants to improve their driving to get in touch with Bradley. All in all, it was a fantastic visit, and what stood out to me the most is how clean everything was. It was a spotless environment to actually do sim racing in, and not only that, it was a relaxed atmosphere as well, and that was a big plus from Bradley. He was very down to earth and very patient, professional, and explained everything to the finest detail. That was really appreciated. Yeah, very grateful to have been able to visit, have a couple of sessions in the SR3 tub, and also a session or two in the freestanding simulator. So many thanks to Bradley Smith, the director at 21 Performance. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and please stay tuned for more to come from AussieStig.